Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I just have to tell y'all, I am super excited because guess what? I got Instagram to work. I'm super excited. Y'all know for me, it's just the little things. And you also know that I play host and producer of What's Up Wednesday. So, yes, if you're wondering why are we here today, because last Wednesday was the third Wednesday, I got all caught up. I mean, in full transparency, I got all caught up and we did not properly plan for content for today. And so I just don't want to throw anything out there to the folks who love me, like me, might like me, haven't had a chance to weigh in yet. All of you all who chime in and check in. I don't want to just throw anything out there as far as content. I want to make sure that we're giving you at least what I think is meaningful information. And one of the other things that we're going to do is we're going to talk about what you think is meaningful information. And we're going to put a poll out about what is it that you want to hear. What do you want to hear about? What do you want my opinion on? What do you want me to help clarify? What do you want to hear? And would you like to hear from me more? We'll see, right? But if you follow me on social media, you will hear from me all the time, right? You won't have to just wait for this once a month. You'll be able to hear from me all of the time. So I'm Senator Angela Williams Graves, representing the 21st Senatorial District, where we do good work on your behalf. And I am very, very excited to be here with you today. I'm excited to be here with you, number one, because you're you. And I'm excited to be here, number two, because I got Instagram to work. All right. So I'm super excited about that. All right. So let's jump into the conversation for today. So we're here today. Normally we are the third Wednesday of every month at noon. I mean, like 12 o'clock, 12:01, 12:02, but the goal is 12 o'clock because sometimes I have these technical difficulties, right? And so you all who've been here with me, you've been here with me long enough, the struggle is real for me. So I want to invite you to an event that I am hosting with Dr. Angela Reddix. And we had this event originally scheduled for a different time, and we postponed it because, again, we wanted to provide great content. And so much has changed since we postponed it that I believe we're going to have an even better conversation now than we would have had 2 months ago. So this is a conversation with Angela and Angela. And if you know anything about Dr. Angela Reddix, she is a business owner, a successful business owner. She is an owner of a nonprofit organization that does amazing work with young girls. Envision Lead Grow. If you don't know anything about it, look it up and follow them on social media, and you will get to see what amazing work that we do with young girls, not just once a year, but all year long, and how we're growing and expanding that work. She's also an author, she's a philanthropist, and she's a friend. And so I'm really, I'm honored, quite frankly, that when I asked her about having this conversation, she said without hesitating, yes, I'll do it. And so we're having a conversation about where business and politics meet, right? Because we're in this place now where we don't know, some people thought, oh, well, I'm a business owner and I just kind of keep my stuff to myself. Well, all kinds of things are affecting you now because of politics. So if you are a business owner, probably about a mid-level business owner to a larger scale business owner, an executive, a CEO, COO, CFO, any of the C's, right, in the C-suite, if you are a manager, if you are a director, because while these things may not be happening to you, right, like, for example, not to brag or boast, I personally am not affected by Medicare, Medicaid changes, right? I have insurance, I'm good. My premium will probably go up, so I could be impacted, right, by these changes. But if you have people working for you who are impacted by these changes, student loan payments changing, all of those kinds of things, right, that affect their finances, it affects their pocketbooks, it affects their psyche when they come to work. And so having that conversation about the trickle down, I think Ronald Reagan called it the trickle down economics. We are seeing the trickle down economics right now. We're seeing the effects of trickle down policy as it relates to businesses, business owners, nonprofit organizations, and the like. So you want to be in the room where it happens. All right, y'all saw Hamilton, right? I want to be in the room where it happens. All right, yes, I sing a little bit in the shower. Anyway, you want to be in the room where it happens, and you can get your seat. We have a limited number of seats, so you want to go in and you want to register on Eventbrite. It's Angela and Angela. I know it's a whole lot of A's, right? .eventbrite.com. And in order for you to get it right, you got to know how to spell my name, and my name is spelled different from her name. All right. So go in, register, make sure that you are in the room where it happens. I promise you, you will not be disappointed, because this is a very intentional conversation. And the intent is to give you good factual information so that you will have a better understanding and be more equipped for the future than when you walked into the room. All right. Okay. So now I want to talk to you a little bit about new laws. We hosted a town hall on new laws. It was hosted with me and Delegate Anthony, and we did it online. So if you missed that, it's somewhere. We'll find it. We'll post it. I know it was recorded, so we got to put it back. We'll put it back out there. But just a couple of new laws on July 1st that may impact folks in the city of Norfolk as well as the Commonwealth of Virginia. So there's a child labor content law. We had two bills. So this bill, SB 998, which means Senate Bill 998, is the way bills are numbered. Okay. Senate Bill 998 is for child labor, and it requires the creation of a trust account for young people engaged in the work of content creation. We are in this new world, new space of content creation and internet superstars and all this kind of stuff. I'm still trying to figure that part out. But there are children making lots of money, and there's no protection for them in terms of where the money goes, so that they don't get to be 18 and their parents ran off to Switzerland somewhere because they pocketed all their child labor money. All right. And it's the same way that we protect children who are working. Right. We have minimum ages to work in places, but that doesn't apply to the internet. Right. So how do we protect these kids who are creating this content for the profit of themselves or someone else? All right. So we want to make sure that we're doing that. So stuff like YouTube, TikTok, all those things, we want to make sure that that the children are protected. Second law, SB 1418 and House Bill 1614 is a bill that was part of the Momnibus set of bills, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But it allowed for postpartum doula care. DMAS is going to amend the state plan for medical assistant services for postpartum doula care. And what that simply means, what is a doula? Okay, so you all know I'm team no kids. I don't have any kids. I don't want any kids. I'm never having kids, right? But we got to protect the people with the kids, right? We got to protect the mommies. We got to make sure that if you want to be a mommy, you can be a mommy. And we want to give you all of the resources and all of the support that you need to be a healthy, happy mommy, right? And so after a mom has her baby, the doula is basically a helper, a certified and trained helper for that mom. The doula also can assist moms with through their pregnancy. They can go to doctor visits with you. They can go to your training classes for delivery and whatnot. And so it's a really great service that is available. You can get trained in it and become a doula and be paid for your service. And if you are a mother, or if you're a new mom or an expectant mom, you can have a doula. doula. One of the things that doulas are very helpful with, in addition to all the things that come with being a mom, is because they do this every day, they know what questions to ask the doctors when they go with you to your the monthly prenatal appointments. Okay. They know what to ask based on what conversations you may have had more freely with them than you feel having with the doctor. And then if you don't know what to ask, you don't know, and you can't get the proper answer, or, the proper result. So they're extremely helpful because they do this work all day. And they can also say to you, I don't know if your doctor is telling you all the facts. So here's some other stuff that you might want to research on your own. And here's some factual places to go, or ask these questions when you go back. This bill this new law helps to pay if the family uses Medicaid. And so this is really, really great. Folks have been doing this for a long time, and it's coming into mainstream America now. The next bill is the Virginia Landlord and Tenant Act, which passed and was signed into law. And if your apartment or house, so people rent apartments, they rent houses, they rent condos, or what have you, if your lease is up, you are required to, your landlord is required to give you 60-day notice if they are not going to renew your lease. Okay, if they're not going to renew your lease. And prior to this law and this time frame, it was really arbitrary based on what you agreed to in your lease. But now by law, they have to give you 60 days if they are not going to renew your lease. So it gives you time to find a new place to stay. All right, so that's a good one. And then surveillance technology, HB, House Bill 2721. House Bill 2721, surveillance technology, reporting by state and local law enforcement agencies and sheriff's departments. Because in some areas, the sheriffs act as the police, all right, in the counties and whatnot, that whole different area. We don't have that here. We don't do that here. We've got our police that actually are law enforcement, and then we have our sheriffs that are actually the jailers, and they have two separate functions. But police and sheriffs who use things like cameras or tracking tools, now they have to tell the public how they're using them, what they're using, and how they're using them. So what are you using? How are you using it? What information are you collecting with it? Okay. And then real property tax exemption. So this is a military friendly bill that says, it's House Bill 1868. And it says that surviving spouses, it's aimed at surviving spouses of members of the armed forces who died in the line of duty. Okay, who died in the line of duty. So if a person in the military dies while they are serving, their husband or wife who is still alive may not have to pay real estate taxes on their house anymore. And I'm going to tell you from a real estate perspective, that is a may. All right. The locality can say you don't have to pay anymore, but your mortgage company may say, we're not going to reduce your payment because you don't have to pay anymore. All right. So there are two parts to that. And most people have a mortgage. There are some folks who own their home. I want to be like that one day. But if the locality gives you the exemption, there are some mortgage companies who will honor it, and there are some mortgage companies who won't. The reason being, all exemptions have requirements. And if you don't meet the requirement on any given year, then your property taxes are still obligated to pay your property taxes to the city. Okay, that's the locality. When I say locality, I mean the city. Whatever city you live in, that's what I mean when I say locality. So to the you have to pay your real estate property taxes to that locality. Well, if you have a mortgage, the mortgage company is including in your mortgage payment a portion every single month of your real estate taxes. They collect it. They put it in what's called an escrow account, which is like a trust account. And then when the bill comes, they've already collected the money and they just forward the money to the city and they pay that bill on your behalf. Okay. So the reason why the mortgage company may say, we're not reducing your mortgage payment just because the city said you qualify for this program. The city doesn't say that you qualify for the program in perpetuity. Okay. There are requirements for every program. And if you don't meet the requirements, then you can potentially be kicked out of the program. And that's the same thing for any other type of real estate tax relief. You can be kicked out of the program if you don't meet the parameters, and then your taxes are due, and then the mortgage company hasn't collected the money to be able to pay them. And so it just kind of puts them in a conundrum. The second reason is that when you signed all the papers to buy your house, you signed up to say that you allow the mortgage company to collect this money and you agree to pay it. Okay. So there's documents. It's a transaction. All right. So I sell residential real estate for a living. Shameless plug. Homes by Angela Realty Company. But that's the reason why this I just kind of got off on a soapbox with this law. Sorry. Our next law is designed to protect pedestrians from drivers. Okay. Imagine that. Pedestrians need protection from drivers. Senate Bill 1416 says if someone is walking across the street, even if there's no stoplight, drivers must stop and let them finish walking safely. If drivers don't, they may be issued a citation. And if you hit the person and kill the person, you could be charged with like vehicular homicide or something or another like that. So just be mindful. If I know people be walking across the street, my mama used to say like they made out of glass, right? They be walking across the street and just not even paying attention. Yes, you got to stop. Yes, you can honk your horn at them, but you got to stop. Let them finish getting across the street, and then you can go on about your merry way, even if there's no stoplight. I know. All right. So I talked to you a little bit about the doula care, the Virginia Momnibus legislation. This was a comprehensive piece of legislation that was aimed at improving maternal health outcomes. According to the March of Dimes, Virginia rates a D like David, D like Domino, D like that's not the grade you want your kid to bring home from school, right? Virginia rates a D in maternal health outcomes and stillborn babies, right? Babies that are not born to term and or are not alive when they're born, especially in rural and underserved communities. So this bill, the Momnibus bill, was inspired by federal legislation, and it has initiatives based on systemic barriers to healthcare, which, we're going to see more of that. And it promotes innovative solutions for maternal and family well-being to ensure that women in Virginia have safer and more successful births. Again, just because I want to be team no kids doesn't mean everybody wants to be team no kids. And if you want to be a mom and you want to have a family, you deserve to have a healthy, happy, peaceful, and emotionally secure pregnancy and childbirthing experience. I truly believe that. And so I was proud to select to be on the one of the individuals to carry bills in that space. So we had HR 1, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Okay, she changed my slide. I changed it on purpose. I called it the One Big Ugly Bill, but Lindsay changed it. Yes, I'm calling her out. She changed it back to the One Big Beautiful Bill. It's the One Big Ugly Bill. It's the One Big Ugly Bill because it's ugly. All right. And this is how all the members of Congress voted for this bill who represent Virginia. All right. Basically, every Republican voted to strip your health care. Every Republican voted to reduce funding for education. All the Democrats voted in favor of the bill. This bill impacts, it has the ability to, and it will, it's not just the ability, it will negatively impact Every single person in Virginia. If it's not you, it's somebody that you know. I promise. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I accused Lindsay of changing my stuff when I hadn't even gotten to the right slide. Okay, so I'm sorry, Lindsay. The one big ugly bill. All right, I got it right over here. I missed it. She got it. All right, we good. So the one big ugly bill, understanding the impact of this bill. And despite the name, it has serious consequences for Virginians. It is probably beautiful to people who are wealthy because of the tax cuts and the provisions that are in there, but it provides significant cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, healthcare, and education. It will reduce it calls for reductions in Medicaid and Medicare access, making it more difficult for seniors, those with low incomes, and families and people with disabilities to receive the care that they need. So one of the examples is like from having to qualify once a year to having to qualify twice a year. Crazy, right? Then there are cuts to healthcare funding, which could result in fewer providers taking Medicare and Medicaid patients, longer wait times, which y'all know we already see. We already see longer wait times. And then that means that we may have diminished community health support. We may lose local providers that are in communities that need them. It's also going to strain our public education system. It's funding that shifts classroom resources, teacher support, and student outcome funding. All of these things that fund education are going to be reduced. And so you're going to have to do the same or more with less. And y'all already know that is a task, right? So the one big ugly bill, beautiful for the rich, not so much for the rest of us. And you've seen how your legislators voted. We're going to remind you of that next year because all of the folks in Congress are up for election next year. And we're going to make sure you don't forget that they voted against your best interest and not in favor of your best interest. And I don't care what the little press secretary at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue says, it is against your best interest. Then, all right, so we want to talk about voter registration. I know Virginia's got elections every year. Every year, we got elections, right? So that means that you have an opportunity to register to vote if you are not a registered voter. Early voting for November 4, that's the next election, begins on September 19th. And the last day to early vote is November the 1st. Okay, so early voting starts September 19th. All right. And then same day registration begins October 25th. You may register to vote in person at the State Office of Elections. That's in City Hall. It's on the first floor. You can go right in. You can register in person Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. In-person voter registration, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. And then from October 25th to November 1st, you can register to vote and vote all in the same day voter registration. You can register online. Okay. And this is a long one. It's vote.elections.virginia.gov/registration. Okay. Vote.elections.virginia.gov/registration. All right. You can go online and do it. Or you can call the registrar's office and they can get you all the documentation that you need. Their number is 757-664-4353, 664-4353 to the Norfolk Voter Registrar's Office. All right. Absentee ballots. You can request an absentee ballot by June the 6th. Okay, hold on. Really? Friday, June the 6th? Okay, we got to check on that date. That seems, that's not right. That's from the primary. That date is wrong. That date is absolutely wrong. That date is from the primary because June 6th has already passed. All right. So it should be October 25th. It should be the same day that in-person voter registration and same-day voting occur. It should be October 25th. And you can go to that same website, or you can email vote@norfolk.gov and ask them to send you an absentee ballot. They're going to send you back a request to get some questions answered, few little clarifying questions to verify that you are who you say you are. And then they will send you an absentee ballot. But that date should be October 21st, and we'll make sure that you have the right date when we see you next month. Here's our Democratic slate, y'all. Okay, as far as statewide elections, Abigail Spanberger for our governor. You can find more information at abigailspanberger.com. abigailspanberger.com. She's going to make an amazing Madam Governor. Then there is the winner of the Democratic primary, Ghazala Hashmi. Ghazala will be our next lieutenant governor. She currently serves in the Senate. She does amazing work in the space of health and education. And I think she's going to be a great lieutenant governor. Here's the thing, y'all. I practice what I preach. Okay. You all know I endorsed the hometown kid. I endorsed Aaron Rouse for lieutenant governor. But I think it is important to say this out loud. If your candidate doesn't win, you cannot take your toys and go play in another sandbasket. All right. You have to support the nominee that won. All right. And so the Democratic nominee that won was Ghazala Hashmi. So I said to people, whoever wins the nomination, I'm supporting them. All right. So my hometown guy didn't win. But guess what? I'm still a Democrat. I still want what's best for the Commonwealth of Virginia. And so that is a trifecta in November in the governor's office, the lieutenant governor's office, and guess who? The attorney general. All right. So Jay Jones for attorney general. There are people who supported his opponent during the primary. It was your absolute right to do it. But if you are a Democrat, I am asking you to honor the fact that we have a slate, and that slate needs to have a trifecta win in November. And that includes the lieutenant governor and the attorney general. All right. Even if you're looking at folk and you're saying, oh, well, I'm an independent, blah, 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 blah. All right, that's cool. Look at the candidate for lieutenant governor. Look at the candidate for attorney general. I know our Democratic slate of candidates stands tall above any of those other candidates that are on the ballot. All right, so that's our Democratic statewide candidate our ballot. And I'm asking all of you, regardless of who you supported in the primary, get yourself together, breathe, have a glass of wine, and come on back to the party. All right. And I also want to offer congratulations. We had one primary here of our constitutional officers, and that was Ramin Fadahi. He won his primary. His opponent ran a great race, but Ramin came out as the winner for that primary. And so I want to wish him a congratulations because he won. And so we congratulate the folks that win again, and we move on, right? And we support the Democratic ticket and the Democratic slate. If we call ourselves Democrats, we cannot just be Democrats when it's convenient. We have to be Democrats all of the time. So one last invitation to join me and Dr. Angela Reddix on July 31st. I don't think I said that. On July 31st at 6:30 at the Mustard Seed Place. Yes, it's going to be in Portsmouth. Why? Because when somebody hosts something for you, you go where they are. And so it's going to be in Portsmouth at the Mustard Seed Place, and we're going to have a great conversation. So please join us. And then I want you to be on the lookout for our new newsletter. We're revamping it. I'm really excited. We've renamed it. It's the District Pulse, where power policy and community all come together. And so I'm really excited about this new rebranding of our newsletter. And I want to make sure now, here's the thing. We don't spam you to death. All right. We really don't. I promise. We send this newsletter out twice a month. And when we're out of session, and then during session, we send it out every week because everything is moving fast and furious. And we want to make sure that you are able to stay up to date with what's going on. And so visit norfolksenator.com/sign up. All right. norfolksenator.com/sign up. And that is to sign up for our newsletter. And you will get that in your inbox consistently on the second and bi-weekly on Thursdays, every 2 weeks when we are outside of session. And it gives you ways to connect with us, as you will also see scrolling across the bottom of the screen, all of our contact information to be able to connect with us. We don't do this work for free. We cannot do this work for free. So if you would like to donate to my campaign, yes, 'tis the season for summer campaign donations. And so if you would like to donate to the campaign, if you like what we're doing, if you want to help, $5, $10, $15, $25. If you can make a recurring donation of a small amount, it will make a huge impact. If you can make a donation of any amount, it will make a huge impact. And it will also allow me to be able to support our community. It will allow me to be able to support candidates who are running for office and do the things that are impactful in the lives of our constituents. This is where the funding of doing good work on your behalf comes from. So join us, partner with us, and donate in the secure space of Act Blue. And I think that's it. Yeah, it is. All right. We're only over by like a minute or two. But thank you so much. If you need help with anything, if we can help you, please, please, please reach out. We have so many different opportunities to help people and so many different opportunities to be able to connect with folks. And that's really the best part of this job for me, is being able to be a bridge to help to bring people and help that they need together. And so if you need help with federal, state, or local government, please contact my office. Send an email to info@norfolksenator.com, info@norfolksenator.com, or give us a call, 757-524-4941, 757-524-4941, or visit us at norfolksenator.com and just click on the constituent services link, and we will be more than happy to help you. Again, I am Senator Angela Williams Graves, representing the 21st Senatorial District in the Commonwealth of Virginia, which is in essence the city of Norfolk. I claim the whole city. I don't have the whole city. I got like 93% of it, but I claim all of y'all. And so we do good work on your behalf, and I'm excited and honored to serve you. Remember that your senator loves you. No matter what is going on in the world, we are in this together, and your senator loves you. And also remember, what is it that I tell you every month? Don't forget, you are a walking, talking, living, breathing miracle. So until the third Wednesday of August, I want you to stay safe. I want you to stay cool, and I want you to be blessed. Bye.